I'm glad you're here.
Hey.
Hola y bienvenidos. Aquí estamos en la cabina Radio Metroplex con la Hora de los Cowboys. Aquí en Arlington está un poquito frío, pero aquí es donde pasan todos los sports y espectáculos que pasa de milagros y los milagros que fue que onda con los Cowboys, Pero ahorita en un momento voy a regresar para atrás y hablar de los vaqueros, de la ganada y con los que van a jugar siguiente, que son los Giants. Pero en el momento, con unas dos canciones, una más canción. Ahorita regresamos y no se me vayan, ¿ok? Por favor, like and share. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Yo, got the big screen, but it's your house. Either love us or the haters, they gon' talk about it, that'll never be no doubt. Cause we Cowboys.
You guys used to see what? You guys used to the camera.
The guy that did so good with the team before did the road. You know, you remember the artist The Road that did the rap? Yeah, he did the rap. It's time. It's time. Yeah, The Road. But I like this song too. I think it goes back to back along with what Wiz Khalifa, what we the
like
boys.
a Super Bowl song.
What it
Back to back.
Wiz Khalifa that did We the Boys?
Yeah.
I think it was. But you put those three together, man. That's great.
Man, I would
I
love
like
to.
this guy's vibe, man.
I would
wish I would. Why you want to look so fly, man? I come in looking like this, thinking I'll be the guy, and then you come in like that. You got the chain and the toboggan on.
Oh,
Hey,
great,
hey, hey.
You know también una bomba afuera my makeup. Ahí en Louisville. Kevin, he specializes on
What's that?
it's a football.
What's your favorite number on that, man? Who makes those?
They're Louisville. He's good at it. Louisville? No, his name is Richard. I should give him props because
Somebody else did.
every time he does.
I like those. I like what all you
You ever seen the blue football I have? Con los blue and ribbon. I mean, it's
Can't catch him on the field, man. He quick with the nicest moves. You can go at the Eagles, the Redskins, the Browns, and the Vikings too. If you see D. Harris in the back, get ready for the punt return. Better be careful. Don't get too careful. Better hope they put up a backhand signal. Got the special team looking at each other, trying to figure out what went wrong.
That's about 5 seconds behind.
I'm not slouching.
Well, I'm trying to get where my belly ain't showing. I usually stand up behind something so people don't see me. It's like getting up on that horse yesterday. I'm like, I don't want to be on that horse, man.
You are rocking it. And you are rocking
We're,
it.
we're bodied by Bluebell, man.
We're blue belts.
They said gold rim. They said Gold's Gym. I thought they said gold rim.
That's what you thought. It's not her. She's also pretty weird. Okay, we're going. Eric does this. Oh, Eric does. Hi, Eric.
Most of your audience bilingual.
Yes. But don't worry. Everything that you say should come out.
I was gonna speak Spanish, man.
Go for it. ¿Cómo están todos?
No, me español por solamente 6 meses y estoy de lugar.
Juan, nomás 6 meses.
Un soldado en ejército, Army, una paracaidista.
Fue soldado.
Nosotros trabajamos las embajadas en América del Sur, el Caribe.
All right, I'm gonna get on Spanish, brother.
Mis orejas muy mal. Más despacio, más despacio.
Yo soy para ti, cariño mío, porque tú eres para mí y yo soy para ti, cariño
What's up, Eric?
mío. Mi corazón late por ti, se escucha los famosos dentro de mí. Alma tuya no lo que te vas.
But everybody was dancing and yelling like crazy.
You know, it was so, by the time we got there, we were so far ahead. You know, Jaime was out there, Boss Mahoney, Slim was out there, Michael Duncan with the horse, Super Cowboy fan, everybody was there. Barry Griffith was out there. Oh yeah, everybody was out there. I may go back there next week. You ought to go with me, man.
Good luck now.
Y hola. Y hola, aquí ya regresamos otra vez con Radio Metroplex en la cabina La Hora de los Cowboys. Gracias por estar viendo y avanzados y van a ver al ratito, pero muchas gracias. Por favor, mándanos un mensaje, dinos de dónde están llamando, de dónde están, qué ciudad. Hit that like, hit that share, por favor. Y pues aquí vamos a seguir hablando con los Dallas Cowboys, cómo fueron la ganada contra los Minnesota Vikings. Pero antes que hable, antes que hable y siga, quiero presentarle a mis invitados, my guests.
My name is Juan Velasquez. I am a local artist, mainly murals, and I paint a lot of sports-related art.
And for those that don't know, which I believe you guys do know, he's the one that painted the mural in Arlington. What's the address?
I don't know.
It's gonna pretty, right?
Well, it's here in Arlington. I mean, shoot, you can't miss it. He's the one that painted Jack, Zeke, Lucas, and Kim? Dirk, the man. I mean, how can I forget that?
41.
But this man is amazing artist. Right?
Appreciate it.
And
yes, it is.
and he knows too. And he also was recently with Kelly Clarkson, right?
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, I got to go to the Kelly Clarkson show, talk about some mural that I painted in Uvalde. But it was cool. Good opportunity. Glad I got to go. Never been to New York before. This is my first time going to New York. I used to think we live in the city.
Yeah.
And I came back to Fort Worth. We're like this.
You're glad to come back.
Like this is a town. Like this, compared to New York, it's massive. Yeah.
Wow.
They have like three like skylines.
3 skylines.
Yeah. It's big.
And I thought Dallas was, making it with this skyline.
No.
Oh, muy poquito. Pues no, bueno, y aquí tenemos otro invitado. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm TLC. I'm a huge Cowboy super fan, like Oscar, and I wear all kinds of weird suits to the game. And Jerry and Steven and Charlotte, they all like me to wear different suits. So we like to do that to create the experience. Just kind of like this show, there's a lot of fans out there that have been fans for a long, long time, and you meet them on this show, but they're super fans, but their job is just to help create a crazy, cool, fun environment so that when you spend all of that dinero to come to Cowboys and to Jerry World, that you have just an amazing experience. So if you see anybody dressed up, if you see anybody being crazy, then you need to stop them and take a picture and share it with Oscar and Radio Metroplex here. And but it's a lot of fun. We've got a great team, and as we get into the show, it's going to be fun to talk about yesterday's game, which was amazing, and then what we have coming up on Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving.
Guajolote.
That game was
So-
crazy. That game was crazy. I was working during the game, so I couldn't watch it. And then I saw all the feed up. I was like, why is everybody going crazy about it?
Nobody expected
And then I
that.
saw
you
the
know?
score, and I literally thought that somebody like photoshopped it. I was like,
So,
Nobody expected that.
This
But
lady,
this is like Survivor.
the show-
Expect the unexpected, Oscar.
Oh, very much.
When you think we're going
This
to
show can
win,
be expected, the unexpected. It can be high volume with a lot of viewers, and it can be low volume with less viewers. But it all changes. You never know. You never know.
but like you said, nobody expected us to play as bad as we did against Green Bay. And I think going into an 8-1 team in Viking Nation, especially now that they've got that new stadium, they've got new traditions, they've really done a lot for themselves in the NFL. So going into that super duper hostile environment, 8-1, who expected us to come out with a victory like that?
You know what's funny how you say with the unexpected, because we were really expecting high velocity with everybody, because everybody thought we got this game with the Green Bay. Hell yeah, we're gonna cheese them, grind them, so. And I was too, I mean, it's my team, so of course I'm gonna root for them and whatnot, and it's always gonna be Cowboy win and whatnot. But my heart, my passion, my thought was, it's a win. Put it in our pocket. It's all good. We just want to wait. What's the score? Well, guess what?
Well,
Joke's on us.
but it's always
Joke's
been
on
that
us.
way when you have certain games, because years ago in one of Troy Aikman's first seasons, we had not won a game. They were undefeated at the time, and we went into RFK and we won. And then one of the years we won the Super Bowl, they came in and beat us when we were like 12-1. So, and you can never count Aaron. Aaron Rodgers just always has a great, like he said, you turn on the score. But if Aaron Rodgers is playing the Cowboys, that's almost an instant rivalry from Brett Favre and Aikman days, and from the old Ice Bowl back in '69 when he did jump off sides. Jerry jumped off sides. You go back and watch it. But, and now you've got this. We had a game cinched up, and Aaron Rodgers had, 25 or 30 seconds? I think we were at the game together, and he threw that pass right at the end, and there was no way he was in, but double tap, kick a field goal, done.
Yeah, it all turns up to the other opponent.
But we're talking Green Bay. Let's talk Minnesota.
Let's talk Minnesota, because now we went from sad to hey, how about them Cowboys? It's Monday victory, baby.
It's crazy how everybody changed, because I remember like on social media, everybody was like, when they lost, everybody was like, oh, like it's done, like.
Yeah.
And then like 1 week later, the same people were like, yeah.
Well, it goes that way, bro.
Well, when you look at the NFL right now, you got a 3-3 game yesterday with the Jets. Looks like they're gonna go in and win. Then you have a final punt with a minute left, and he runs the kickback. He does like our turpentine guy.
Yeah.
But he runs it back and they win. So there was a lot of games yesterday. Kansas City looked like they were out of it yesterday. Look what Patrick Mahomes did at the end of the game last night. They go down and win. Then you think the Eagles are going to lose, and it looks like the Colts have them. And then I think about a minute to play, they win. So for the Cowboys to go out and dominate like that is crazy. So who are we? But when you look at the NFL right now, Oscar, as you very well know, you got the Chargers, you got the Jets, you got the Eagles, and then you could just about arguably say, what'd you say?
I hate the Eagles.
No, please.
Yeah, we got
cry, Eagles, cry. But then you got the Cowboys that legitimately could be that 14.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, I don't know if you fans know this, and I know you know this, but one of the great things about Minnesota, this is the first time in the NFL a team has ever been 8-1, but their point differential is about 2.7 points under what their opponents have scored. There's never been a team 8-1 where the opponents have scored more points than they have, and they were 8-1.
Wow.
And this statistically at 8-1, 6-game winning streak.
And no more or no less than
but
6
here's
points.
the deal. Kirk Cousins' worst statistical year ever. Redskins, Eagles, and they've won 6 games in a row by under 6 points. Never been done.
That is.
But you know what our Cowboys did yesterday?
Yeah.
You know what they did?
Big ass win.
First time in our history since 14 that we have scored 7 times in a row. 7 times in a row we scored. And the first time in 44 years we scored on our first 7 possessions. So very dominating. And how about Micah Parsons on that 3rd play?
Boy,
He just set the tone.
Like we're watching right now at the beginning of our the first quarter, I was like, because they've scored first, right? And I was like, oh man, here we go again.
I'm gonna have to reshare that. I painted a mural of them. I have to reshare that mural.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So and then when I started seeing more and more, I think they got more to themselves.
Oh yeah.
Played better.
All the fans were happy. And the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of fans. Shout out to one of the biggest fans that I know, the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Medellin from Oak Cliff.
All right. Hey,
Michael,
known as Theo Mike, the biggest Cowboy fan I know.
The biggest fan.
You've got a.
I gotta meet him, man. Maybe you'll come to the show.
Yeah.
We'll bring him
got
back.
a mural of Micah Parsons, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, Micah, last week they lined him up as a linebacker. I don't know what Kellen and Coach McCarthy were thinking, but they lined him up as a linebacker. They put him back up, but they put him back on the line where he's free to roam. And I get frustrated seeing us get that first turnover, and then we turn it into a field goal. So it was nice to see us get that ball, and they just showed Zeke. And, you're watching Pollard. Pollard made a little money yesterday, didn't he?
Pollard made some nice runs, some nice moves. Thank you, Pollard, for
he had
touchdowns.
Yeah. I think his total yards, let me double check so I don't tell you wrong. But Micah Parsons, after that, he set the stage. And then Tony Pollard had the very long catch. And I was proud of Dak for finding. They just saw the Tony Tony Pollard run there down the sideline.
I hit that right there when he was in.
189 total yards by Tony Pollard. So he made a little cold hard cash yesterday. Because if the Cowboys don't sign him, the NFL knows this kid is quick and a big play.
Making big plays.
He had 6 catches. He had about 80 yards running, had about 130 catching, I think it was. There's Coach McCarthy. How about 60-yard field goal by Matt Martin?
But I got upset though because they didn't count Lamb's catch, and then they were bringing it back, and I was like, "What the hell are they doing? Throwing a red flag after a very long time, and still making us make the." Yeah. Well, thank you, my heart.
Well, this was a great pass. Look at this pass on 3rd and 14. 3rd and 14.
Oh,
you split him out. You can't cover CD and Parsons and Michael Gallup. You don't have enough big play DBs or safeties to cover those 3 guys when we're clicking like we are. And the protection that Dak,
30-3 then.
The protection that Dak had, that always gives you what you need. And we talk a lot about Dak being good or bad, but Dak is the most accurate when he has a little bit of time in the pocket and he can move around. So this was good. But that was a great play right there. That was
like you were saying about Dak, 22 out of 25.
He started 22 of 25. Don't remember what the yards were. Was that
276
to start the game?
Yes.
But that's the Dak we need to see, not the Dak that goes behind.
Yeah. And always, yeah.
So we may have to put a few more murals of Dak up if he continues to do that.
Dak, if you ever watch this is the man to hire.
I've actually painted 2 murals of him. I've done 2 murals of that. And I did one here by the stadium, and then I did one on in the Vivint warehouse headquarters. I think it's like in Plano. It's not an outside.
That may be the one that I was talking about. That's the one that I think I was telling you I'd seen. They got a lot of news and a lot of hits. Was that the first one that you painted?
That was your second, no?
No, the first one I painted was like that one was in the news and stuff. Like that one. Yeah, in the news. They even showed it at in the UK, like in the NFL.
Wow.
The NFL show in UK, and then they showed it like before the Cowboys game.
Well, let me say congratulations on Kelly's show because, Kelly was at first American Idol contestant winner, and she's from, I think, Burleson. I think she's from here, so I'm sorry, Miss, I'm going to go back and Google that and watch that.
She's a Texan girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She was really nice. She was really nice. Extremely nice person. She seemed cool.
But I think if you'd have told us, Oscar, you've got Green Bay, you've got Minnesota, and you've got the Giants. If we go 2-1, I don't think you're super duper unhappy. So if we go take care of business on Thanksgiving Day and give the Giants another loss, I think the Giants are fool's gold because I don't think their quarterback is very consistent.
No.
And our quarterback is a little inconsistent, but I think he's inconsistent at a much higher level than Daniel Jones? I think it's Daniel Jones that's the quarterback for the Giants. I don't know if the Giants will make that. The team I'm kind of scared of is the Commanders. They've won 4 games in a row since they put Heineke in.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true.
So I'm a little more worried about the Commanders, but I think if you're pushing your chips
we got
in,
New York, Colts, Texans, and then Jaguars, Eagles, of course. I want us to see.
But I do think like winning against like a big team does give them like,
motivation,
and that's something that like you can't really measure it. How people like if you feel it, like I feel like you would play better.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, like when they were again. I'm sorry. We go back to the Green Bay, the concept of the feeling, the positive that they had. I don't know if it was more. How they say airheaded, like you overthink
They weren't ready to play.
You
They
know?
were not ready to play. And you and I saw Too Tall Jones and Randy White yesterday.
What they were saying.
And both of them in their private time back in the VIP room said, listen, this was a team that was not mentally prepared to play.
Yeah.
That team yesterday, that's about as ready to play a big game I've seen. And I'm going to call it a big game because I think that was a playoff atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had some great battles, even though Minnesota's not in our conference or in our division. Go back to Drew Pearson in 75,
Yeah, they even showed a little glimpse where he went, boom, he did that. Roger stopped back through that nice.
And that's where the Hail Mary term came from. But we've had some great battles with Minnesota. We were a wild card team that year. We were the first wild card team ever to go to the Super Bowl that year. And we had 12 rookies. We had 12 rookies on that team. So,
won that game.
but we've had great ones against Minnesota. But for you fans out there, though, you ought to be excited about this team. We got 3 games on Thanksgiving Day that could really change our hopes. So I don't know if you're going to talk about that later, but there's 3 big games Thanksgiving Day that could really help us. But if we go beat the Giants, I really looked at we're in the Cadillac seat.
But my view, my thoughts is I don't want to depend on other teams for them to lose so we can be where we need to be. We want to win all these games. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
Well, the only team that's really ahead of us in the standings right now is, the Eagles, and we're going to use chance to sit.
And like you said, and once we get Eagles, I'm sure the Commanders are.
Well, the Commanders are still 3 games behind us.
Yeah,
but they could slip in and get that wild card because I think the Giants are going to fall. I think the Vikings are going to fall. So I think there's a lot of those teams. I think that with the Packers losing this weekend, they're done. Stick a fork in them, baby. And that doesn't bother me at all.
El queso está viejo y se está pordiendo. That means I said the cheese is out and it's getting rotten. But no, with the Vikings, I mean, like I said, total yards, Cowboys 458, Vikings 183. Come on.
Yeah.
And then the passing 307 on the Cowboys, and on the Vikings 110. Rushing yards, that's nice, 151. And I mean, and it goes on and on with nothing but greatness, great runs. Much props to the coaches.
Well, I gotta give you say that I am not a Kellen Moore guy, but I gotta give him props. Week before last, he called a really good game. Then against the Packers, I thought he was terrible. And
I agree with you on that part. Yeah.
But this week, I really, really liked our scheme. I really liked it. Now, it's easy to say that when you're throwing the ball and your players are playing. But I just think they were ready to play, and I think they had a good game plan. I didn't like the Packer game because we threw the ball on first down, first play. Incompletion. We ran up the
Quickly.
middle on the second play, 2 yards. Then our third play is an incompletion. And within about 45 seconds, we're already kicking the ball. I don't like that. I think you've got to establish that running game with Zeke and with Pollard.
Consistency.
And then you open up those guys that fly. You know, the Eagles think they're the Eagles. We got the Eagles on our team flying, baby, because, with Gallup out there, I think Gallup's an underrated player because of injury. He's been out a couple of times. With him back, I believe that just opens up CD because you can't just cover. You can't cover one or the other. You got
No. And you got too many talents out there regardless. You do have too many talents out there.
We must be tight end central the way that we make tight end. Schultz is good. What is it, Robinson or Richardson? What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he is so good.
So what do you think? What do you guys think, gentlemen? Should we bring him back?
Oh my
bring him
God,
in? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Well,
I didn't have to say his name because we already know who he is.
Do you think that was the greatest catch ever when ODB reached back there and got that ball? I
On
hate
the
to
side
say it
of
wasn't
the
a
Rams?
Cowboy, but I think that's probably the greatest catch in Cowboy Stadium. But
When he was playing with
and
the
I got to
Cowboys,
talk to ODB
Rams,
right after that. He was so happy. But yeah,
Odell Beckham.
yeah, he's just always hurt. My concern is he got hurt in the Super Bowl. Playing football is different than working out. Playing football is different than being healthy. Okay, you're healthy. Okay, you can jog. Okay, you can catch. But can you do that in a game?
Yeah.
I don't want to second guess him because he obviously had a little bit of layoff before he went to the Rams. And Stafford and him just clicked. Can he come in here and stay healthy? If he can do that, then he'll help this team. He'll help this team. Because a guy like that at that level, you may think I'm being negative, you guys, but a guy like that can come in and in a couple of weeks. So you give him, let's say he comes in next week after Thanksgiving, first week of December. He plays a couple of rusty games. Guess who's going to shape up into good form about his third or fourth game as we're going into that first round of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that would be nice, but
It would, but I mean, we got Michael, we got Lamb, but it wouldn't hurt to have another one and have them ready, because we have just like I don't really trust nobody else but just Lamb and
I'm a Gallup guy.
Gallup.
I'm a Gallup guy.
You
But
are?
Gallup, again, like I said earlier, is injury. I just hate to have two guys like Gallup and
Beckham? Or who?
and Beckham
Oh.
that are both injury prone.
On that leg and ankle.
Well, and you got the same thing with Dak. I mean, Dak's
Yeah, I
had
was
two
about,
bad
I was about,
injuries.
I was about to say that. Like, I love Doc, but
But
like,
can Dak go
but
the
I
distance?
get nervous. Like, I'm like every time he gets sacked, like I'm like, like I'm like, I hope he's okay.
Well, and he's got that moxie like Romo did, and like a lot of the good Cowboy quarterbacks. Troy was never that way. Staubach got knocked out from concussion. These guys want to compete so bad, and like we were talking to Randy and Ed, Too Tall Jones and the Manster yesterday, that star on the helmet means something.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And
It is,
so you
it
don't
is.
always just go down. Sometimes you fight for that extra yard. You do that extra thing, and that injury comes when you try to do that.
Yeah.
Because, Dak was out of the pocket when he had the first big leg injury. He probably could have thrown the ball away or tried to get out of the pocket, but he thinks he stays in that pocket and he hurts his fingers. So you've got a great point there, Mr. Painter, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I missed that game, man. I was doing something and I thought that it was the last game. I thought it was all like somebody had made it up. I was like, wow. And then I watched I rewatched the game and then I was like, wow.
Yeah, you couldn't have imagined or seen like any more perfect, because like I said, when I started watching it, I was like, okay, here we go.
No, I mean, in a way, you're not surprised because they're a good team, but at the same time, it's like I don't think anybody would have made that bet.
Well, it's your show, Oscar, but I'm going to ask you a question here. I want to ask you too. When is the last time the Cowboys stomped somebody like they did yesterday?
I have a friend who's a really big fans of the Bills, and I always make fun of them when the Cowboys beat the Bills. So I'm just for the sake of keep making.
nice one,
and how long ago was that?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. You've had a few sleeps since then.
Yeah.
Well,
What about
I
you?
love no,
But-
that's the thing. I love anything from the '90s though because it was stomping on everybody. You
Yeah,
know,
but we're talking about
And we're
30,
talking about
30
only-
years ago. So it was really good for us to have a laugher.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I think it was nice for us as fans to kind of exhale because it's like we didn't go down to the last 30 seconds and wonder if somebody's going to do something. This thing was not in question. I mean, I hate to say this, I'm going to make a lot of enemies, but when you see Cooper Rush in the game, something's wrong. And Cooper came in at the end of the game, and bless his heart, he got to close that one out. But that's when I want to see Cooper, is when Dak has done his job, when Zeke has done his job, Kellen Moore's done his job, the defense is laughing it up with Micah. So it was really fun to have a fourth quarter like we had yesterday. It's been a while since we had a final 15 minutes like we did yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, what's happening? What's going on?
So
Why
you
is
know
everybody coming back in?
So you know what Jerry said? We're going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, Jerry, jump back in the chopper, go home and have a.
Cálmate, cara tu café, tu sweet bread. Get your coffee, your sweet bread.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes with this. But talking about all this, and I heard you say about Eggman. Eggman's birthday is today.
That's right.
Happy birthday,
It is.
Troy
Happy
Eggman.
birthday, Troy.
So is Cooper Rush.
I didn't know they had the same birthday.
I didn't know either.
I did not know that.
And Brett Mahar too.
Oh, cool.
Look, because I even was surprised because I had to look it up. So give me 1 second, and I wanna because I was like this. So
Today's birthdays.
look at.
Oh my gosh!
And they're all cowboy players.
Are you kidding
I'm
me?
not kidding you, and it's for
2
today.
pages?
2 pages. 2
So
pages.
let's see. Who are the?
Okay, can you get them?
Let's see. Holy Toledo, Danny Cannell. He was there for like 13 minutes.
But
Okay, let's see. We got Troy. Wide receiver Anderson. Is that the old Bengal guy from down in Houston?
Wasn't it 1 year
Bollinger.
only?
Okay. Thomas Everett. Now I like Thomas Everett. He was here for a couple of minutes.
Happy
I like
birthday,
him.
Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. Happy birthday to all these guys. But
But that's a lot, huh?
there's no. Oh my lord.
That's just
Just for today.
And I like to think I know a lot about the Cowboys, man.
Yeah, just for today.
This is
You know?
70 former Cowboys.
70 former Cowboys, guys. Today's
70.
birthday.
Wow.
But the one I will count, number one, will
Troy.
be Troy Hickman, of course.
I don't even see Cooper is the name. But
Cooper's there.
I don't even see a lot of names that anybody would even know. Brett Maher.
Brett Maher.
Brett Maher. So how about the 60-yard field goal? So,
I loved
so
it.
So they run the play. They call a timeout. We come back. We take Brett Maher. We kick the 60-yarder, and then they say that they filmed it. How come they couldn't have reviewed that during the commercial break when there was a timeout? But then, how about Brett, cold as ice, foreigner reference there.
That's how they call him.
Brett,
Cold as ice.
Maher kicking a second 60-yarder in a row. Who in the NFL has ever kicked 2 60-yarders
Nobody
in a row?
that I know
Nobody.
of. Nobody that I know of. Not to this day.
Maybe you're gonna have to pay for that.
Hey, man, I
And
painted,
it went through by about 7 or 8 yards.
I painted so many players like, what the hell, one more.
Right? Yeah.
This is incredible, Oscar.
I'm telling you, it is because I was
I'm
like,
looking at number 13, and I want
I
you
said-
to say who's number 13's name. Read his name. Let's hear you say that. Get ready. I hope
oh my Lord.
you're
No, you did not put me
that has
there.
every consonant in a chuma-daba-dooba-daba-dee way.
I don't know if this is
Let me see.
Hawaiian,
I'll try.
Asian, and American.
You don't think he's
No,
American?
I said Hawaiian, Asian, and American. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Adabanichinobe,
Yeah, I gotta get my,
Echamandu.
I gotta get my friend Mikey in the show, man. He's like the biggest Cowboys fan.
Bring
ever.
up.
He's from down the hill.
Okay.
Huh? He's my forward.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a good one, man.
Well,
I'm glad to see that.
I had to get Terry on this
Now
because
you did
we
that
both-
70.
we both go a lot to advanced Cowboys and whatnot. But when it had to come with birthday, and I was only looking up for Troy, okay? And then all of a sudden I said, let me see how many Cowboys' birthday is today. So
Troy,
I clicked in, and I go, No way.
I wonder what the percentage is like.
Mira, if you want to see how many.
But like, is this like, I wonder what.
Since the Cowboys played,
percentage of
todo.
players.
So I've never told you this, Oscar.
Go ahead, sir.
So when Troy was drafted, Troy had a penchant for drinking a beer, which, by the way, as you know, he's come out with 8, and a lot of people have gone out there to see him with his own beer. But he liked to drink a beer on Monday after the game, and he loved country music. And there was a place over there across from North Park Mall called Borrowed Money. And every Monday night, Troy was there, and I was trying to learn how to country dance at the time. And so I would see Troy, and so there were several times I had a beer on his birthday, but I never ever knew. I'll now know that is this day at all times. But Troy was always out with the fans, and he was always out there. And one thing that I would say while we're here and I have the opportunity is, listen, you guys, there's a lot of times you can meet a lot of the Cowboys, and Oscar and myself and a lot of others. You don't just have to be watching the game and watching the players. You can be a part of it. And so Oscar and I, like yesterday, there was probably only about 150 people. We were at, what was that, Maple Landing?
Yeah,
Maple Landing over there.
Oh, yeah, about 100 people. Yeah, I'm sorry.
About 100 people total.
In and out, yeah.
But, you can come see these guys. You can come take a picture, and you can look at Oscar's Facebook and click on that, and you can see a lot of the pictures, and you can do that at Terry Cox TLC too. But if you want to do that, and I would really, really love it if you would get your kids together, get in the car, and kind of Google these places, and go out there and get a picture of your kids with these murals. These kids will love that. These kids will love that
right
someday.
here.
I have a picture.
I think that was like the last mural I painted.
But I have a picture of my little boy. I told you out there in 2011. You guys all know that Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs won their first championship, and there's a mural down in Deep Ellum of Dirk on that final 3 that he made, and I have pictures of my kids there. But what's really fun is to take them back as adults and do that again. And I never knew what that meant, but I want to say this. If you take a picture with that mural, my son is now 19, and he was only, what would that be? It'd be about 11. He was about 11 years old, but he took his girlfriend there today to that place. So, so your kids remember those things, and they'll take their girlfriends, they'll take their kids, and it just builds a history. And that's why the Star is one of those things. We can have a losing season for 30 years, but we do something and we're in the news over somebody else's. The World Cup starts today, but everybody wants to talk Cowboys.
Because Cowboy Nation is on everybody's mind.
Come on now. Don't leave me hanging, Oscar. Come on, man.
I don't want to say nothing about soccer.
You're good, bro. You're good.
I love soccer, but
sometimes
they're just like, man, this is the greatest game ever.
It is.
It's the greatest, and then it's like 0-1.
Too Tall said that yesterday. He
was
spent a lot
talking
of time about soccer.
He was talking about soccer, how these young ladies, young men play out there. There's so many out there at almost every Saturday, probably every park you can possibly be at. There's kids playing soccer.
I'm a few years older than y'all, and I never had that opportunity. We didn't have soccer in my town.
That's
now it's everywhere.
Huge.
I haven't gone to see. I've been seeing it on TV, but I want when the United States plays here or Mexico, I want to go watch and play. But I look at it and I just feel like they touch each other and then they fall and roll for 100 feet. And then, they cry for 10 minutes.
The knee, the ankle, the eye.
They just need to toughen up and stop. Just, damn it, man, play the game.
And just for fun, it's in Mexico right now, 31-10, 49ers over the Cardinals. And Too Tall also said we should have had a team in Mexico years and years ago. And the only way to grow the NFL game is to start making it an international game. And so we had our first, I'm not a big Brady fan, but we had our first game in Germany this past week. Oh, wow. So that was really good to see those. And but I think we'll see more international.
I was surprised how many people, especially in the UK, were fans of even the Cowboys, because when the team that I did that interview with, it was the NFL ESPN. It was ESPN from the UK. They were just here to interview people about the Cowboys, and wow. And they showed it over there, and I was I didn't even know that.
I'm not an inch surprised about Cowboys not being worldly noticed, because China, Japan love the Cowboys, London, Paris over there, they love the Cowboys.
Can I tell you how big the Cowboys are?
Go ahead, Terry. Tell us. Let us know.
I met this guy a few years ago, and we became friends, and we started talking. We went to dinners, and we met each other. Through the years, this guy started coming to more and more events. He'd bring his dad with him. He even won tickets from me one time.
Just like
And this young man that went all over, his dream was to have a radio show. And if it wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys, I would have never met this guy's dad. We'd have never this park that's right behind us. We one time had an event there, and we had about 6 or 7 players out there. Everybody that's got these cars that have these $150,000 paint jobs with Tom Landry and with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, they brought their cars, and Oscar and his father were out there. And then they started showing up at more and more events. We got to see more and more people. Toward now, he's more of a super fan than I am, probably. But Oscar, I think you would agree, if it wasn't for that star, you would not have this show.
Yeah.
And so the Cowboys have been instrumental. And look at you, you're a painter.
Yeah.
But what better subjects to have those guys that are on the star?
Yeah.
And you think about all those players like Kevin Smith with 3 rings, or
Perdóname porque lloré un poquito. I cried a little bit.
Lincoln Coleman or Kenny Gann, these guys with rings. Well, everybody knows them, but there's a lot of these guys like Billy Davis or some of these guys that, because they had that star, they're still somebody they can still go and do appearances. So that star holds it, and we haven't won anything since '95. Guys.
But you know how big of a fan I started. Now that this man
mentioned me,
probably
I know. I waited till the end. I waited till the end.
Outed me more. My dad Lupe. If you're watching that Lupe, he's my dad. You know, who raised me. But who raised me was Felix. You know, we all know that. And me and him, he took me for the first game, but I took Dad for his first game in '97, and they played the Houston Oilers. But I had been going to the games before, right? But by myself or with friends. But when I took Dad, that was like this leverage, huge respect, huge love, huge chemistry that it just grew. And I just wanted to keep going and going with my dad. And then, of course, I didn't have a family like girlfriend or whatever then. Yeah. But as you know, like you were talking about, it was Dad and the family, and it grew. And because of the star, I'm where I'm at. And I agree.
But we're family.
And we're all family.
But all of us, and now that I know you and what you do, but there's people that's like a family reunion when we get together as the super fans. And there's lots of fans and there's lots of super fans. But in all honesty and the humility before the Lord, there's about 8 or 10 of us that are probably a little more prominent than others. But when we get together and we haven't seen each other, it is like a family reunion. Though you were going
to but like you were saying about players that only were here for a little while, like they're still like one of my favorite players is Jalen Smith.
Oh my God.
And the reason is because I've actually met him a few times.
Ryan Smith, if you're watching.
Jalen Smith.
No, but that's cool. Oh, Ryan Smith.
Like I painted in his house, so I got to hang out a few times. The nicest person.
Brother played for the team, right, Keith?
Yeah.
But the dad, Alan and Keith talk to me all the time. So.
It's like one of the nicest persons. Actually, like
his brother too.
Because I'm talking about him and I put him in the.
It's not against me. Don't be talking about my boy.
I was like, man, about that.
But
I met Jalen at Drunken Donkey. They were doing mini great on the journey. He still had his leg messed up.
Yeah.
And
who was the cornerback that was there too? I'll think of it when you keep going.
Yeah, but he's super nice, man. He's even like.
Anyway.
Yeah, he's super nice guy. He's one of my favorite players.
The guy that was there with him that night was he was the cornerback that got traded to Cleveland or somebody. Maurice Claiborne.
Yes, Claiborne. He was there that day. So I get his autograph, and I was there with Dad, and I say, hey, I do tattoos, sir. And Ryan says, oh, you do, bro? Hey, man, well, give me a card. I said, I don't have it on me, but we can talk later. And sure enough, we talked later. We spoke. So I was leaving with my family, and Ryan and Jalen were walking right behind me. You know, they say, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, take care, bro. Thank you for the autograph." Ryan comes back and said, "Hey, man, Jalen said he want to come back to his crib." I said, "Talk about tattoos." Yeah, yeah. At that time, yes, I was, with my lady, and I said, "You want to go to Jalen's house?" And she's like, "Let's go." Who's not gonna say yes? So it was awesome being at his crib, like you say, and all he had at that time was Notre Dame stuff, maybe one cowboy thing back then, and then I got to hang out with him, like you say, and had a good time. All around, all in all, this man, Jalen, Rod, the whole family, it's very down to earth, very very nice family, very nice family.
Yeah.
Salute to all the Smith out there, all the family. All right.
Well, this is a fun time. I just would like to encourage Cowboy Nation, and I'm probably saying this to me because there's three fingers pointing back, so I'm chewing myself out and letting you kind of listen in. But don't be negative about the things that are wrong. I'm not a huge Dak guy, but he has good games. I'm not a huge Zeke guy. I think he had his better years earlier. I'm not a huge Kellen Moore guy. But you know what? We're going through an opportunity right now that, it's time to get behind the team. It's time to really root. It's time to really cheer. Time to do that. Go out and see these players. I mean, they have radio shows where there's players. There's all these appearances that the players do. Oscar and I have gotten close to that. I wouldn't be friends with a lot of people. I wear the suits. That creates a little bit of communication with people I probably wouldn't normally communicate with, but it's good. But your local Boomer Jacks, your local Pluckers, your local, Two Brothers, hey, go out to the Star. They put that game on the big screen. Right now they've got Christmas out there. There's no other team that does things like the Dallas Cowboys do. And so
no. There's so many events that they give back out there.
We lost a fan.
Oh.
LeBron James decided he doesn't want to be a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I don't give a rat's flip.
You know what? We still shine blue and white and silver, baby.
There you go. Seth Curry's a big one. Who's
well, you know
knows that famous that's a Cowboy fan?
Who's a big fan that I know because I spoke to him?
Who?
That man right there.
I can't see around corners.
La Cinta de Oro, the wrestler.
Oh,
the wrestler. He's a huge fan. He's been a huge fan forever. Show him the picture real quick. So he's been, and I spoke to him, and I have a video still. I said, "Who's your favorite team, sir?" And I was here that day. He's fought with Rey Mysterio. He was here at the WrestleMania.
I got you.
Yeah. So Latino, and then a famous actor that he used to do Fame, and I'll say his name, Jesse Borrego. I spoke to him on a VIP level out there in San Antonio, and I said, "Hey, man, hey, Oscar, I see you Dak fan, but you know who's my fan? Romo, because if Dak had what he had, the offense he had, if Romo had it, man, that dude was already being played, man.
Who's the big wrestler? Big, huge.
So Jesse Borrego.
No, this was a big hair.
Big wrestler.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite player of all time?
For Cowboys?
Yeah.
I'll let him go first.
That's a good question.
We've had so many great guys. Listen to Randy
White. Even though you're young, but you still watch stuff.
After listening to Randy White yesterday, I almost want him to be the coach. I think he can motivate anybody. But what do you think?
Question. Randy White. I'm gonna stick with Jalen Smith, man.
Jalen?
He's just a nice guy, man.
He's a hard guy.
Jalen, your love, brother.
You could not like him, and even when they started wanting to put him, I was kind of the same about. Who was the guy right before? Who was the linebacker that they tried to get rid of for so long? Sean Lee. I was
Sean Lee.
Sean Lee from Penn State, but Sean Lee just put it out there every game, and we bought Vander Esch in. They both went to Penn State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but when people would talk about him and Jalen, and when they were thinking about getting rid of him, I was like, what?
The Wolfpack.
But Jalen had lost a step and he'd been injured, and I get it. But boy, when it's time to say goodbye to some of those players that have just blood, sweat, and tears. Seeing Randy yesterday, they had to put stuff on his hands because I don't know if it's arthritis or what. Who's your favorite player?
All time?
Yeah.
Roger Staubach, quarterback. Yeah.
I'll say the only
Captain America.
I mean, I like a lot of players, but I think like for the only team that I have like.
Well, I mean, if you want to say like who's your favorite All-Star quarterback, who's your favorite running back, then I can tell you who is
what player.
The only team that I have a favorite player is Dirk.
Okay, Dirk for Mavericks, of course, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I got to print some of the shirts that said 41-21-1.
Yeah.
And for you guys that don't know, that was Dirk's number 41, 21 years with the same team. So 41-21-1. I think it was one more year than Kobe did with the Lakers. I think Kobe was at 20. But well, my favorite player was obviously Roger Staubach. I named my dog Dodger because if you remember, he was called Roger the Dodger. And back then, speaking back, that was Fran Tarkenton, who was a great scrambler.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say something real controversial. I may never be. I like Roger Staubach and Tom Landry. My son's name is Landry.
Yeah.
He's a Washington Commanders fan.
Oh.
He likes Terry McLaurin and Ohio State. So,
wow.
But I think that Tony Romo is the best quarterback that ever played for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think he ever had the complement of players around him like Roger and Troy. And had he had those, and I will make this claim against anyone, Tony Romo would go down there and score. We would be ahead. We lost 28 games where the Dallas Cowboys scored with under 4 minutes to play, and we lost the game. When you ask a quarterback to do a second game-winning drive, a third game-winning drive, even a guy like a Mahomes or something, I think it's going to be suspect. But Romo was, I think, a money player that never had a good second receiver. He didn't have Alvin Harper. He didn't have Tony Hill. He usually had a decent receiver and a little bit of a compliment and a good tight end. And if you think back, tell me a great running back, not a good like DeMarco Murray for 1 year. Tell me a great running back that ever ran on a Tony Romo team. He didn't have it. No. He just never had. And the thing about Emmett and Irvin and Aikman was they were together for a minute.
But the Moose was.
I'm doing a mural on 3 of them.
The Moose.
Where are you doing that? Hey, tell us about that.
In Dallas, but yeah, I got. So I had a
big news.
Yeah, I have.
It's already here now.
Yeah. So it's a big mural that I was in. That's where I painted Doc. No, it's where I painted Dirk and Luca, but it's gonna be in the other side. But it's like we're doing it in portions. So after the holidays, we're gonna do them 3.
Where's that gonna be?
Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd love to see Mavs. I did an event the other day, autograph signing and a meet and greet for Paul Quinn College. I'd love to see you get with St. Marshall, the president of the Mavs, and with Paul Quinn, and maybe do something out there at Paul Quinn with the Mavs, because the Mavericks have adopted them, and they're actually going to create a scholarship that's a Dallas Maverick scholarship. So Paul Quinn would be a great college, and that's one of the great black universities, one of the great universities, and I hope I can say that without making anybody mad, but I support those universities a lot that create opportunity for people that wouldn't have it. So thank you to Paul Quinn. Thank you for the Dallas Mavericks to do that. But Chris Arnold was out there, the Maverick Dancers, the Maverick Maniacs, some of the
I want to be one of the Mavericks Maniacs.
Anyways, I'm sorry, go ahead. The Maniacs, and the Maniacs are more like the showgirls now, because a lot of them are on Dotson Lost Weight. I think they've grown out of the role, man.
No, the role was to be a little stomach.
Big Rob is in his 20th year, and by the way, that's another group that you can see out, because there's about 7 of them, and I affectionately call them the Chow Boys because they eat, but the Chow Boys are out, and they're at each game, and a couple of the DJs, both EJ and who's the DJ out there in the DJ SC? He's out there in the not the foyer, but outside the stadium in the atrium there, outside the stadium each game. Well, this is a lot of fun to talk Cowboys, man.
You know, we talked and spoke so much that I never went to break.
So that means I didn't get Snickers?
Usually it's like a two segments I do in between and put 2 songs. But we didn't even know what was the time?
We
We
didn't even
just
mention the
spoke.
Stars and the Rangers.
No, we didn't. So we have about a few minutes. So what do you think, Giants, this Thanksgiving Day?
Go ahead.
I hate the Giants. I hate the Eagles. If you're an Eagles fan, I hope that you sleep crooked and you wake up with a sore neck tomorrow.
And he will never pay nothing that has to do with the Eagles.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually had a player from the Eagles that had messaged me about doing some work, and I did not reply to him.
I like the team.
All right.
I like the team that won the Super Bowl, but I hate that city. The team that won the Super Bowl.
They burned down
Nick Foles, I think that's one of the great
They
Super Bowl
burned
plays.
their-
I love
their
when
own
they
city
come back in.
down.
I'm doing a live video. And one of my friends is the biggest Eagles fan. She's like,
Oh no.
Hey, I like your thinking. I hate the NFC East teams too, but I do think that this
No,
is
but
gonna be a
I
fun
only
game.
hate the Eagles and
Yeah.
Washington. That's it.
Well,
Cheese heads. Well, I respect Roger, but I don't like the
they're not
like
in
the
our, they're
freaking
not in our
Green Bay.
division. But I think the Cowboys are going to play well this week. I think that we've hit on something. I think they're going to be a little more consistent the rest of the year.
I want them to stay consistent.
I think that we're going to beat the Giants. I think it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like a 27-10, 27-13 game. We may hit to 30. I'm not sure, but again, you got to give the ball to Pollard 67% of the time. Bring Zeke in. Pollard, nothing. Then they handed the ball to Zeke on that third down and he pulled in. So Zeke's still got a little bit in the engine for fewer plays. Then use that explosiveness with Pollard. Go ahead and bring him. Bring in the receiver. Let's bring Beckham in. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if he's a spark plug for us. A lot of teams that win it, they are the teams that make moves like this. So maybe this could be our year that we didn't realize was
And
our year.
Turpin, please bring 1 or 2 or 3 back.
It's always Turpin
Bring
time,
it,
man. It's
Turpin
always
time,
Turpin
baby.
What do
Well,
you think, Oscar?
come here. We're almost closing. Come here.
What do you think?
Come here.
What do you think about the Giants?
Come here. I give it. Come here, Mummies. I give it a 30. Dallas and 17 Giants.
30-17?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
I don't care if we
'cause-
win by 1 point with half second to play as long as we beat them.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your score over there, Payer Man?
Man,
And
I don't want to jinx it, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, they usually like lose when I go. Most teams lose when I go watch them, so I try not to stay out of it.
Well,
Yeah.
That's probably why they won't
don't
let me
you
watch
fly.
that game.
Don't you fly to New
I might
York?
not
then.
watch.
Don't
I
you
might
fly
not.
to New York?
I might not watch that game, man, because the game that I didn't watch is the one that they did.
We're putting your picture up at LaGuardia. Have you seen this man? We're going to send, what's that guy that calls about his daughter? We're going to send him to get you.
Yeah.
Taken. You're going to be taken.
Yeah.
Well, Oscar,
So-
thank you for inviting, man. This
And
was
real
fun.
quick, I know Terry is what you have your own printing company and whatnot.
Yeah, I
you
do.
know?
I do printing. I have a suit company, obviously sell suits. We do screen print and embroidery, and I do fundraising in the schools as my primary job, trying to raise money with the kids in the elementary, junior high, and high schools. But yeah, you can get in touch with Oscar if you need something printed, whether it's a banner like this or a T-shirt, or you want to buy a suit. Yeah, you can just Google Terry Cox, Tyler,
TLC?
Texas, Terry Cox TLC.
Yeah, you can find them right there.
But it's my name, Terrence Lee Cox, but it really stands for Totally Loving Cowboys.
He's always fixing that. No, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you
Hey,
for being here.
what a treat.
I enjoyed
Humble.
every minute of it. So I want to know who is gonna win, Dallas Cowboys or Giants? Who's gonna win, Dallas Cowboys or Giants?
You're wearing the shirt. All you gotta do is read.
Dallas Cowboys, right? Who's your favorite player?
Who's your favorite?
Tell him
player?
loud.
Who's your favorite player?
Remember? What's his name? Huh? Don't be shy. Jalen?
You like Jalen Smith?
Remember? Every time. Jalen!
That's good.
Jalen remembers her a long time ago. Well, it was her, me and the girl, my girl, we went in. He signed a cap and goes, here, for the little one. She'll remember it, and she does. Because I still have the cap from that many years ago.
I feel like I'm in your living room about to watch. When I see that, I feel like I'm about to watch it.
So,
man.
Mr. Juan,
Yeah.
how can they find you if people want to? Because you know.
They can't, man. I'm Batman.
No. Instagram?
They can find me on Instagram at Velasquez_art_.
Okay. Well, you heard it, guys, and I know it's Monday victory because Cowboys did one heck of a job yesterday, and I'm so proud and so happy to always be a Dallas Cowboy fan. And your social media podcast here en Radio Metroplex, La Hora de los Cowboys. Ya se va a terminar este programa por hoy, no por siempre, por hoy. Y los que están viéndonos, muchas gracias, muchas gracias. Acuérdense, you can always call us, ask us questions, like, share, anything you guys want to do. Thank you again for watching and listening all around the world. Que viva México, que viva Monterrey, que viva Paris, Africa, todo el mundo. And say something in Spanish to our public.
I don't know what to say now. Una paracaidista en el ejército. Tomé español por solamente 6 meses en la escuela del militar, pero mi orejas muy mal, mi familia no habla, so necesita más práctica.
Good.
What branch were you?
Sí, ya lo dijeron. Sí, pero ahí nos vemos, y no se nos pierdan. El próximo lunes vamos a tener un surprise otra vez. Siempre tenemos sorpresas.
Let's go,
Siempre tenemos
Cowboys!
gente aquí
Let's
con
go,
gran
beat the
agilidad.
Giants!
Go Cowboys!
Beat those
Let's get
Giants,
this.
yeah.
And in case you don't see me, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and your loved ones. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Your special operation?
Special operations. We were in the same unit with 7 special